Never did I think I would make a video defending Dragon Ball Super of all shows, but hey, here we are. Besides the Goku Black and Tournament of Power arcs, I personally just wasn't the biggest fan of the show when it came out. Especially writing-wise, when you compare it to what came before that, Dragon Ball Z. It took place before the ending of Z, making the timeline of the whole franchise a little wonky and confusing to some, and to this day, Dragon Ball Super still hasn't reached the end of Z point in the timeline, even with the new movie. But we're getting there, it'll happen soon. Super had a really rocky start and ended up disappointing a lot of longtime fans, even after its super good and satisfying finale. So, Dragon Ball Super gets a lot of hate and a lot of criticism. And I'll be honest, some is fair, don't get me wrong, but some of it really isn't, and that's why I decided to make this video. This has been complained about since the episode dropped years ago, and still, this year in 2023, it gets so much hate for no reason really. And yes, I'm talking about the Universe 6 Super Saiyan back tingle. Now, before we start, please just hear me out, and let me just say, I'm not gonna lie and tell you that I never hated on the back tingle thing, and because I was once a brain-dead Dragon Ball stan. Stan, not fan. I took Dragon Ball way too seriously. So when I first saw this, like many others at the time, I was heated. I was huffing and puffing, how dare they ruin my beloved Super Saiyan transformation and make a mockery of it, right? And funny enough, I actually had a whole video in the works a couple months ago on why the back tingle ruined the whole point and the whole importance of the form, which was going to be called The Importance of Super Saiyans, until I sat back and realized, hold up, this literally only happened one time in the entire series. I see so many people on social media rant and complain about the notorious back tingle from Dragon Ball Super is the main reason why the franchise as a whole sucks now and lost a very special part of it. Like, do Dragon Ball fans even watch their own show? I swear, this makes zero sense. In terms of writing and it being a part of the story, yes, the idea of turning into what was once known as a legendary form that could only be achieved by specific emotional triggers, by feeling a tingle in your back, is pretty stupid and lazy. But the reason it became a thing is because that was Cabba's experience when he first transformed, thanks to Vegeta, by giving him an emotional trigger. It's just so goofy how people forget that. And also that I hear a lot of people say that this shouldn't be used as an excuse, but I think it should because it's valid. Universe 6 Saiyans are biologically different and evolutionary comparing to what we're more used to, like Goku and Vegeta in Universe 7. They've evolved so much that they don't even have tails anymore. It's like Saiyans are naturally born without tails in Universe 6. Nobody in the entire 6th universe has ever been able to hit Super Saiyan besides these three characters, and only one of them unlocked it without a crazy emotional trigger, that being Caulifla. Cabba explains that he got the form after fighting Vegeta, and now that he's able to do it freely, the way he transforms is by focusing his energy in the middle of his back, which I think is also kind of realistic when you compare it to a bunch of different kinds of martial arts, but that's not the point, because I don't know martial arts. Caulifla picking up on Super Saiyan purely with a back tingle only happens one time, and I'm not counting Kale's transformation as the back tingle either, because she technically got it by feeling a strong emotion, even if it did happen randomly and at like the perfect time. It still technically didn't happen the same way Caulifla did it. And another thing that's hilarious about this criticism is that now Super Saiyan is ruined, right? It's Super's fault, and the Super Saiyan transformation they've never been thrown in the series lazily or in goofy ways until now. When Goten, Trunks, Gotenks, and Vegeta exist. Goten went Super Saiyan before he could even fly. Yeah, he was training with Gohan on and off, but he didn't get any specific emotional triggers or go through traumatic events like Goku or Gohan did. And Trunks from the present timeline, not the future one. Future Trunks, his transformation is super valid. Trunks in the present timeline just felt like doing it, so he did. Also, Gotenks going Super Saiyan does make sense because he's a fusion of two already Super Saiyan users, but then he just blasts to Super Saiyan 3, which a lot of people seem to forget. And Vegeta literally unlocked Super Saiyan off panel. In the manga, he just comes out of nowhere, powered up, and gives the lamest excuse. I thought you had to be pure heart to go Super Saiyan. My heart is pure evil. This is one of the corniest things in the entire series, and I chuckle every time I remember it.
I wanna be a Super Saiyan! I wanna!
Luckily, the anime kind of gave us something. They gave us a little bit of insight as to what Vegeta did to transform, but in the original source material, the manga, Vegeta just comes out of nowhere. Now, I'm not making this video to excuse the back tingle, because like I said before, overall it is still a pretty dumb way of transforming, but I also think it shouldn't be complained about this much when it only happens to one character, and stupider Super Saiyan things have happened in the past, to the point where it's even become a joke in the video games and stuff with the Super Saiyan bargain sale.
Naturally, it's a Super Saiyan bargain sale.
And because Kaba, who did get an emotional trigger for transforming, felt a back tingle and thought that this tip would help Kale and Caulifla, which it did. How are people gonna excuse Goten Trunks, but then freak out when Caulifla does it differently? It's just super silly. But I swear, Dragon Ball fans are the only fans that have not watched their own series. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to hit those supporting buttons because it does help out a lot. And check out my Fiverr for intros, outros, and thumbnails if you need one, and my Instagram because I'm very active there with posting updates. But yeah, that's it, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.